What's up, everybody? Thanks as always for supporting the show. It would mean a lot to me if you would take a second to scroll down and hit that subscribe button to the Hoops Tonight YouTube channel, and then follow me on social media on TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter so you guys don't miss any of our content over the course of this season. All right, let's talk some basketball. Draymond Green, I thought, played a big part in this. I thought he did just an incredible job on Joel Embiid in the possessions he was on him. And I think a lot of times, like, one of the things that we gloss over in the NBA postseason is the capability that your roster has to make real significant impact on opposing stars. Because like when you really look back, like let's just take a look at the 2022 postseason run, for example, and point out some specific examples of the way the Warriors defense didn't just do a good job, but actually led players to having struggles in real ways. So for instance, like in that first series against the Denver Nuggets, there was a big play, I think in Game 5, if I remember correctly, where Nikola Jokic was, I think it was actually Game 4 when they went up 3-1. I can't remember exactly which game it was. But do you guys remember it was a one-possession game late? Nikola Jokic was attacking Draymond Green in the post on the left block, and Draymond Green actually got a reach-around steal on him. Like, how many players do you know that are capable of going on an island against one of the top 5 players in the league in a big moment and picking them clean? And that's what Draymond Green brings to the table as like a transcendent defensive option, right? And then looking at the Dallas Mavericks series between Andrew Wiggins' ball pressure, the good job they did on the back line, helping without helping too much off of shooters. Like Luka put up statistical numbers, but he was nowhere near as he put up box score numbers, but he wasn't as impactful as an offensive initiator in that series. In fact, he was down a significant level from where he was in the Phoenix Suns series. And that's an example of what that transcendent defensive impact can do. And then lastly, the Jason Tatum series in the against the Celtics in the NBA Finals, they sent him into one of his worst playoff series as a pro. And that just goes to show you, like, that specific element, having defensive weapons the caliber of Draymond Green, the caliber of Andrew Wiggins, they can go a long way towards swinging playoff series by causing opposing stars to play well below their capability. I thought last night against Joel Embiid was a great example of that. Like, don't take Draymond Green for granted. Like, his ability to impact the game defensively isn't just really good, it's transcendently good. It's top tier in the NBA good, right? The second big takeaway I had from this game is that Steph is just back to form now. At 37 on 17 shots, he's averaging 33, 5, and 6 on 53% from the field, 48% from three, and 100% from the line over the course of his last 5 games. Remember, over his previous 23 games, just 25, 4, and 6 on 42% from the field, 36% from three, and 92% from the line. So, like, we went from an extended stretch there where Steph was playing below his capability to now we have a 2 or 3 week stretch here, 2 weeks basically, where Steph looks more or less like the Steph that we know. As a matter of fact, playing at an MVP level. And that was just an important checkpoint, right? Like when I talked about the 3 important things that the Warriors had to accomplish, it's like step 1, Steph has to play like Steph Curry, right? Step 2, you have to be coherent defensively and honestly have to be great defensively with some of the limitations they have in shot creation. And then 3, you need backup offensive support, which leads us to the next big takeaway. Andrew Wiggins was awesome in this game against the Sixers. He was getting downhill penetration on Kelly Oubre. He was rising up around the rim and dunking everything on cuts. That's an area where he's been really bad this year. He's been really timid and soft around the basket. And I pulled this stat last week, but like before the last couple of games, Andrew Wiggins was down something crazy, like 8 or 9% on layups around the basket compared to last year. And so that just goes compared to the 2022 season, pardon me. So like seeing Andrew just going up with more confidence around the basket as an athlete, like dunking everything, hanging on the rim, just having that like force and power behind his game is super, super encouraging. He had 23 points on 10 shots last night in this 4-game stretch after the team took that break, obviously, to grieve the loss of one of their assistant coaches. He's averaging 19 points, 5 rebounds, and 3 assists on 63% from the field, 46% from the three-point line, and 2.3 steals and blocks per game. So, like, that's more or less the Andrew Wiggins that we remember from 2022. That's what the Warriors have been getting. And you know what's crazy is the offense has come, but it started in that Atlanta Hawks game with him re-engaging defensively at the point of attack with the job that he did on DeJounte Murray, and he's just kind of ridden that momentum. I've talked about this concept on the show before. I talked about it yesterday, actually. But one of the best ways to get out of a slump is to impact winning elsewhere. Because when you start impact winning elsewhere, you can feel it. You feel it in your confidence. You know, I am helping my team right now. That relieves pressure when you go to take a shot. And Andrew's shooting better from three. He's made 6 of his last 9 threes. He's making those important kind of weak side wing above the break threes that the Warriors offense can generate for him. And like the confidence to take those and make those in a lot of ways can come from playing well elsewhere on the floor. And I think you're kind of just seeing momentum, like real positive momentum with Andrew Wiggins. And, you know, I saw a report yesterday, it was yesterday, 2 days ago, about the Warriors potentially exploring player-for-player swaps involving Andrew Wiggins. I talked about some of them on the show, actually, that I had heard about behind the scenes a couple of weeks ago. So, like, I know that's something that they had explored, but I've maintained this all season. Like, unless you're getting something significant, like a real return, I wouldn't look for like a player-for-player, like another role player type of swap for Andrew Wiggins, because as I've said all season, the potential he has to regain what he used to be is far greater than what any potential trade return would be at this point. And so I'm actually very hopeful that the Warriors keep Andrew Wiggins and just kind of lean into hoping that he kind of gets back on track the way that he has in the last couple of weeks. And then lastly, on the Warriors front, Jonathan Kuminga has 26. Just a ridiculous highlight reel. He had this transition push against Tobias Harris where he like crossed him over right to left, and Embiid was waiting for him at the rim, and he just went right into Embiid's chest and finished at the rim. There was another one where he kind of slashed from the top of the key, and he took off like he was going to dunk on him and like took the contact and then whipped around with like a scoop shot off the glass. It was ridiculous. He's dunking on everyone on these cuts that he catches underneath the basket. He's hitting pull-up jump shots. He's hitting above the break threes. It's outrageous. Like we're watching an incredible rise. Remember, Jonathan Kuminga, before this stretch, had never put 2 20-point games together in a row. Never. He had never done it. And now he's had 7 consecutive 20-plus point nights. Over the 7-game span, Jonathan Kuminga is averaging he's averaging 25 points and 7 rebounds on 62% from the field and 55% from 3, including 1.9 stocks per game. That's steals plus blocks. So I'm officially at the point with Jonathan Kuminga where you just can't trade this guy. You can't trade him unless you're getting back a legitimate star. And quite frankly, I'm not sure that type of star is available at this deadline. You know, I was talking with Sam Esfandiari in our post-game show after, I think it was the Kings game a few nights ago. And we kind of talked about how like Lauri Markkanen would be like the minimum allowable kind of quality of player that you'd make a move for. And like, I'm not even sure Lauri's enough now. Like, I think this guy's on like a bona fide star trajectory. He moves in a way that is not like top tier for the position. He moves in a way that is like truly it's like a unicorn. It's like his unique basketball trait that kind of makes him special compared to other excellent forward prospects that we see in NBA history. It like when you combine that with like the touch and the confidence and the real like relentless downhill motor that he has, I don't think you can trade this guy. Not unless you're getting back a legitimate star. Like not unless you're getting back a guy that makes you actually sit back and think, oh, we have a chance to win the title here. Like if for some reason you could get a player that's of a Paul George's caliber, which obviously you're not because the Clippers are contending for the title, but it would have to be that type of player, a bona fide top 15 player. And I just don't see that out on the market. So I think you hang on to Jonathan Kuminga at this point and you try to make it work with some sort of other ancillary moves on the margins.